In 1953, the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency, or CIA, undertook the design of an illegal human experimentation program. This program is referred to as Project MKUltra and was carried out unknowingly on U.S. and Canadian citizens. MKUltra was concerned with the research and development of chemical, biological, and radiological materials capable of employment in clandestine operations to control human behavior. This control on human behavior was for the intent on developing procedures or identifying drugs that would prove effective in interrogations. Through the findings of the MKUltra program, individuals would be broken down and confessions would be forced, leading to intelligence that the CIA could use. So, how could the CIA accomplish the manipulation of the human mind? And what significance does this project hold today?
I'm Adrienne Clarkson. Tonight we report on a secret CIA research project carried out in Montreal in which mental patients felt they were used as the CIA's guinea pigs.
Those of us who were involved with trying to find out something about brainwashing, yes, this is the reason that we were interested in Dr. Cameron's work.
LSD was really horrifying, very horrifying, and they gave it to me for about 12 or 15 times.
I certainly know that an intelligent, ethical scientist today would not do an awful lot of things that an ethical scientist would do in those days.
I could have maybe had a different kind of life. And that makes me angry and sad, and I don't know how to explain how I feel, really. I just.
The story of MKUltra was preceded by two earlier experiments, Project Bluebird and Project Artichoke. The CIA has a history of a desire to control minds. Following the end of World War II and the beginning of the Cold War, the CIA would explore the field of mind alteration, starting with Project Bluebird and Project Artichoke. Both Bluebird and Artichoke had one primary goal. Can we get control of an individual to the point where he will do our bidding against his will, and even against fundamental laws of nature, such as self-preservation? Hypnosis, addiction, withdrawal. All three of these methods were studied in Bluebird and Artichoke, leading to a state of amnesia and physical and mental vulnerability in test subjects. The goals and methodology of Bluebird and Artichoke would be echoed in the future Project MKUltra. So, the government is already brutally experimenting on its citizens. What more could go wrong in MKUltra? Under the appearance of quote-unquote research, MKUltra related activities were carried out at colleges, universities, hospitals, prisons, and pharmaceutical companies, all of which were operated by front organizations of the CIA. It was then that something sinister would be carried out. Drugs such as LSD, electroshocks, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, isolation, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, torture. All listed methods were carried out during the run period of MKUltra in order to manipulate the mental states and functions of citizens, oftentimes who were unaware of the nature of the study they participated in. Quote-unquote participants of the study would have their minds reduced and broken, all so MKUltra could make an attempt to rebuild their mind into something new and controllable. One participant, Frank Olson, died from an unknowing administration of LSD. Olson was reported to have jumped out of a window during a hallucination induced by LSD. At first, Olson's death was ruled as a suicide in order to cover up the nature of the situation, but it was later discovered to have been related to MKUltra. Thousands of other participants suffered, experiencing hallucinogenic-induced psychosis, permanent mental impairment, drug-induced fear and depression, and so on. For decades, the CIA worked tirelessly to keep the Project MKUltra from the public eye. In 1957, the CIA inspector wrote, "The knowledge that the agency is engaging in unethical and illicit activities would have serious repercussions in political and diplomatic circles. and would be detrimental to the accomplishment of its mission. Aware of the gravity of MKUltra and the negative public perception of the program's unethicality, the CIA still continued the program. Following the Watergate scandal, nearly all records of MKUltra were destroyed, as ordered by CIA Director Richard Helms. However, about 20,000 records of MKUltra were preserved and led to the public discovery of the project. This means that many others, like Frank Olson, suffered unknowingly due to the scope of the MKUltra project. The scale of the MKUltra project is still a mystery, meaning that there are likely thousands of instances of people being subjected to experimentation without their consent. These stories are unable to be told. MKUltra and its findings would surface in 1975, when President Rockefeller's commission and the Congressional Church Committee revealed to the public for the first time that the CIA and the Department of Defense had conducted non-consensual experiments on human subjects. After MKUltra was exposed to the public, President Gerald Ford would issue an executive order in 1976 that would prohibit the, quote, experimentation with drugs on human subjects except with the informed consent, in writing and witnessed by a disinterested party, of each such human subject. Following the accusations, the CIA would acknowledge that the, quote, tests had little scientific rationale, and the officers conducting the monitoring were not qualified scientific observers. The uncovering of MKUltra, along with other political scandals such as Watergate, would sow seeds of distrust within the minds of the American people. For a time, hundreds of thousands of Americans would be distrustful of their government and actively detest it. LSD, the drug previously used to break and control the minds of citizens in MKUltra, would quickly become the symbol of counterculture, which was an effort that sought to rebel against the government. So, what does this all mean? The aftermath of MKUltra proves the disastrous consequences of the lack of transparency regarding experimentation. Again, refer back to the death of Frank Olson or the permanent mental scars left on other participants. The quote-unquote findings, or rather lack thereof, of MKUltra were at the expense of the American people and lack of consent. By putting focus on the poor experimental process of MKUltra and casting basic human ethics aside, irreversible damage was caused to civilians. This is bad science.